cage. Brady Davis inside the cage, making the introduction of the red corner fighter in fight number 15, Gerrit Gutowsky.
Yeah, we're moving up in weight a little bit here. We got 185 pounds. We've had a lot of, 125, 130-pound guys. So now, as we get towards the end of this card, is where we're going to see the big boys.
Yeah, well, think about it, though. Earlier, we had two guys that their combined weight was 500 pounds.
Right, but since then, I mean, that was like our second or third
That's
fight.
right.
We've had 10 fights since then that were all, both of those guys combined didn't weigh more than one of them.
Gerrit Gutowsky out of Bloomington, Indiana, Vortex Martial Arts. Okay, so Cody, when you come to the cage door, how do you enter the cage?
I'm very stoked when I fight because, as much as I hate to say it, Nick Diaz said it the best. To love fighting, you have to hate fighting. I'm so nervous in the back. I get out here, I'm almost way more happy when it's over, no matter what the outcome. But I hate and love the sport.
Okay, so we see Gutowsky. He just runs in. We've seen some fighters bow. We've seen some fighters kiss the mat. I mean, it is amazing how many different ways fighters decide to enter the cage.
Whenever I come in, I'm flipping the bird, and I'm giving the crowd the cross chops from D-Generation X.
So what you're saying is you just have two words for them.
I do. And the people at home know what those are.
Yep. And Gerrit Gutowsky here making his MMA debut. He's another guy that's had 2 years of training under Mick Williams at Vortex. So Gerrit Gutowsky, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt, says he's well-rounded and ready to take the fight anywhere. But again, he's never made that walk to the cage. So are we going to see that play a role tonight as Kyle Phipps makes his way to the cage?
Yeah, so Kai Phipps is being introduced as we take a look at Gerrit Gutowsky. So Phipps being checked over. He's out of the Anvil Training Center in Vincennes. His coach is Brian Stone. Both of these fighters weigh in at 185 pounds. They're both 6'1".
Kyle Phipps coming off a dominant performance of Zach Zimmerman in March. He's got a heavy Muay Thai striking base, but also has very good wrestling. So he's very physically strong and says he can manhandle opponents if need be. He's got a 39-second kickboxing TKO win in August for Coleman Kickboxing Entertainment. So both of these guys say they're well-rounded anywhere this fight goes.
Well, there's Phipps.
Phipps looks to be the more physically larger fighter for sure.
They're both the same weight, the same height. And as you mentioned, Tyler Gutowsky. As our announcer Brady Davis introduces Gutowsky to the crowd. So, gentlemen, we are set for our 15th fight of the evening here at the Stomping Grounds in Terre Haute.
Somehow we only have 7 fights left.
That's right. They've all been good ones. And we're underway.
Yeah, with those Muay Thai ankle socks that Phipps has on, I imagine to see a lot of kicks. There goes an early low kick from Phipps. Gutowsky comes back with a flurry of punches, looks to take the center of the cage. Boxing match so far.
Yep, pretty much center of the cage for these two. Heard that one. Right hand.
Gutowsky with a 1-2 of his own. Phipps returns. Phipps getting better of the exchanges here so far. has Gutowsky throwing off of the back foot, and anytime you're throwing those punches off of the back foot, they're not going to have nearly as much strength behind them as the person that's coming forward.
Phipps looks content to throw as many punches as possible.
Gutowsky's got a really high guard. For those watching at home, you can see there how high his elbows are. So if I were Phipps, I'd be potentially looking to maybe place a body kick up under one of those elbows.
The last time I saw Phipps fight, he German suplexed the guy better than I've ever seen in my life. So he's got strong striking, he's got strong grappling. Gutowsky seems like he's very traditionally kickboxing.
He does, and if you notice here, like Gutowsky very up on his toes, and then Phipps just kind of flat-footed, you know, well, not so much flat-footed, a little bit more flat-footed, but just kind of looking to pick his shots. I think he can tell early here that, at least in this first round, he's getting the best of Gutowsky. But Gutowsky throwing a lot early.
Well, certainly Phipps, as compared to Gutowsky, is fighting far more flat-footed.
Some blood coming out of the nose of Gutowsky.
Yeah, Gutowsky's starting to wear that damage from Phipps a little bit there.
Phipps is just walking him down.
Yeah, looking to pick his shot. Gutowsky bleeding from the nose there.
Gutowsky once again with the red tape on his gloves. What do we got?
Waves off the penalty on the low kick.
Yep, accidental low kick there. Phipps says, I'm good to go.
A little confusion from the fighters here. Phipps with the inside leg kicks.
Only 15 seconds remaining in round number 1.
Yeah, this has definitely been one of those like feeling out type rounds. I mean, Phipps, I would say, has definitely done more of the damage. I mean, I'm honestly surprised at how much damage Gutowsky is wearing. And here late at the end, Phipps landing a few punches.
And apparently the clock we had on the screen was incorrect. And I thought that round had gone pretty quick. Okay, there we go.
Tyler, if you're a judge and two guys keep it standing like that, how do you score that round?
I mean, if I'm a judge here, you know, you're always looking for damage first. I mean, just obviously in the eye test, you know, Gutowsky is certainly wearing more of the damage than Phipps is. Phipps looks relatively untouched. But, you know, sometimes that's just due to, like, guys, you know, having scarring, having things like that. But, I mean, in this fight specifically, in that first round, I would definitely say Phipps did a lot more damage than Gutowsky did. But Gutowsky, you know, had a lot of shots he was throwing back himself, but I would give this 10-9 to Phipps in that first round.
Really? Cody, who would you score it for?
I would say Phipps took it, and like I said before, Phipps is not fighting the same way I saw him fight last time. He has criminally underrated wrestling. Like, he can throw people. He doesn't look like the most muscular guy, but the strength he has behind him.
Yeah, and we mentioned at the start that Phipps has a heavy Muay Thai striking base. You can see that coming into play there, which is kind of, you know, constantly raising the knee, looking for that kick. I'm surprised he hasn't gone for like a Muay Thai clinch or anything, though. But Phipps coming out of the second round looks very calm, collected, ready to go.
Well, Gutowsky did a lot of dancing in the first round. He was on his toes a lot. And he's going to continue to move.
I mean, Gutowsky is throwing just as much at Phipps, but you can just tell that Phipps' punches have a lot more sting behind them, and he's landing multiple in a row right now. Cody, I think we're about to see some of that wrestling you were talking about.
There's the wrestling I told you about with Phipps. He is a very physically imposing individual.
Yep, just mauling Gutowsky right now.
And just stands back up.
Gutowski's got a nice malice under that left eye.
He also seems like he's fading a bit.
He does. He's wearing a lot of damage there.
Phipps, the aggressor here in round number 2. 1 minute gone in our second round. This is our 15th fight of the evening.
Ugh. Yeah, accidental low kick there by Phipps to Gutowsky.
That's one each.
Yep, one each.
That hit the leg, though. I think it might have been clean.
Yeah, I think it hit the leg first and then traveled up a little bit. So, as we all know, it never feels good. But Gutowsky probably going to take, oh, no, he says I'm good to go, and we're right back to it.
Right back in. Gutowsky's a gamer.
2 minutes remaining here in this second round.
So before Phipps is even throwing these kicks, Gutowsky's putting his leg up, which tells me that leg is damaged.
Yep, and there's that Muay Thai clinch we were talking about a little bit there. Phipps with those strong kicks to Gutowsky's front lead leg. You know, we've seen it in a few different fights tonight. Once a fighter takes a few of those, it really hinders their ability to be able to move. Oh, good double jab from Phipps there to back up Gutowsky against the fence.
That was a 5-piece combo.
It was. Gutowsky, blood streaming from the nose now. Oh.
And that'll make it harder for you to breathe as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you can't keep this pace up a whole fight.
And guys, I know both of these fighters are weighed in at 185, but Phipps just looks so much thicker.
He just looks so much more physically imposing.
Yeah,
I mean,
than
he just
Gutowsky.
wiped off the blood from Gutowsky's face on his white shorts there. You can see it if you're watching there at home on his right hip.
So a little bit earlier, you seen Phipps hit Gutowsky and wobbled him a little bit.
He did. He stepped straight back. He did not like that. But, I mean, it's like I said a few minutes ago. I mean, Gutowsky is throwing just as much, but it's just so obvious that these punches from Phipps just have so much more behind them. That's a good straight there from Gutowsky.
Well, Phipps is doing some damage, no doubt about that. 30 seconds remain here in round number 2. And Gerrit Gutowsky is going to be one fighter that walks out of this cage tonight and someone's going to look at him and say, you look like you were in a fight tonight.
They would be correct.
Oh, boy.
I mean, Gutowsky, like, he's still moving forward, still throwing.
And he's wearing it. He's eating a lot. He's showing heart.
It's just for every 6, 7, or 8 punches Gutowsky is landing is the equivalent of the damage from 1 or 2 from Phipps.
So that's the end of round number 2.
As you spoke to earlier, Tyler, the mouse under his eye.
It's getting worse.
It's getting nasty. He's bleeding out of both nostrils now. He's down 2 rounds, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's going to have to go for broke here in the 3rd.
And Phipps looks fresh as a daisy.
But Phipps is there to be hit. Like, he's allowing Gutowsky to hit him.
Yeah, and when you have a beard like that, it definitely gives you plus 10 charisma.
Phipps isn't even breathing heavy, guys. I mean, watching him over there with his guys working on him, I mean, he looks very calm, taking some deep breaths, taking some instructions from his coach, Brian Stone.
His last fight that I seen, he fought a guy who was purely Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Phipps wrestled him, just pure wrestling, German suplexes, and finished that fight. The guy couldn't get anything on him. So, I mean, what do you do whenever a guy's beating you up on the feet and you can't wrestle him back?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we've seen 2 rounds of Phipps winning on the feet. I mean, if I'm Gutowsky, I'm trying to see maybe what I have on the ground game.
At this point, you have to weigh that off.
Yeah, you got to find a way to win here if you're Gutowsky down 2 rounds to nothing.
Here we go, round number 3.
You know, seeing it now, Gutowsky's got some damage on his nose. There's a crook. I think it might be broken.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, 3 huge inside leg kicks from Phipps to start the round. Oh.
Gerrit Gutowsky, boy, his punches do not have a lot on him right now.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's landing them, but they just don't have that much behind them compared to Phipps. And Phipps is throwing with the he just shakes his head at Gutowsky.
See, like that, right. It barely moved Phipps's face. He made contact.
It's the beard.
And so Phipps is up 2 rounds, and you see him still pursuing the finish.
Yep.
But this is where, you know, if you're Phipps, you got to be careful that, you know, you're obviously up 2 rounds. I'm not saying just coast or anything, but, you know, I mean, Gutowsky's still throwing. He's still very much in this fight. One huge overhand could change everything. 1
minute gone in round number 3. Gerrit Gutowsky out of Bloomington, Indiana. Kyle Phipps out of Vincennes.
Oh, that Phipps. Inside check right from Phipps sends blood flying across the canvas.
Yeah, Phipps dominating this fight from the start.
The striking of Phipps is next level.
It just looks like it hurts.
Well, he has done as much damage with his strikes as any fighter in the cage tonight. And it is showing on his opponent's face.
I mean, Gutowsky, he's doing a good job of still moving after taking, that leg is so red.
Yep.
After taking a million leg kicks.
Yeah. At some point, I mean, he's got to look to potentially check one of these, or, I mean, that jab from Phipps is just whipping Gutowsky's head back.
1 minute remaining in this third and final round.
Oh, cute, big overhand from Phipps.
Gutowsky just wobbled a little bit. I think he might be hurt.
Just seeing the blood spatter every time Phipps lands a punch, just the mist of red coming off of Gutowsky's face.
And Phipps isn't showing any respect to Gutowsky. Like, no respect for the striking. He's just walking him down.
Yep. 30 seconds remaining in this final round.
Wouldn't surprise me if once we hear that clap for the 10-second, if Phipps just goes insane.
And so that's accredited to his gym. The gym he trains at is Anvil. It's in Vincent's, Indiana. And their coach is Brian Stone. He's a very, very hard guy.
10 seconds.
He teaches his fighters to search for the finish.
Phipps content, I think, to know he's got this in the bag here. Oh, but that was a vicious right hand right there. I mean, hey, credit to Gutowsky staying in there, continuing to fight. And I mean, credit to Phipps, who's probably going to walk away with this one. Only our second fight of the night to go to decision, but still a great fight nonetheless.
That's going to be a unanimous decision. We'll wait for the official announcement, but that's going to be another win to the blue corner.
Yeah. Wild fight.
Both fighters getting checked out. Gerrit Gutowsky, the mouse under the left eye. And I think, Cody, you're probably right. I think probably the broken nose.
Yeah, you definitely see a crook there. I think he busted it open. I think it's broken for sure.
Yeah, you can see it right there on the left side. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it is broken, credit to him for staying in there and continuing to take that punishment.
Yeah, because every time he got tagged, that had to hurt.
But again, I want to say that, like, Gutowsky put out his own punishment too. It's just that, you know, Phipps just seemed to have an answer for everything. But that's not to say that if it was a different opponent, you know, we could have been talking the same way about Gutowsky as we are about Phipps.
So that's if it was anybody else, Gutowsky could have got a finish. But Phipps wasn't even responding humanly.
All three judges scored this bout the same, 30-27. All for your winner, a unanimous decision.
So the unanimous decision, sounds like all three judges scored at 10-9 each round, 30-27.
Yeah, now that would have been one where if it had been a 10-8 in the third, I would not have been surprised.
Yeah.
The fact that he started wrestling and just stood back up, like, I've seen what he can do on a mat. He didn't want any part of it.
So Kyle Phipps is the winner by unanimous decision.